नमः पार्वती पतये हर 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 महादेव। नमोऽस्त्वनन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादा शिशिरोरुबाहवे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय शाश्वते सहस्रकोटि युगधारिणे नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे शिष्यसंसारहारिणे कार्येकदेहाय नमस्ते चित्सदात्मने। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ नमो गुरुभ्यो गुरुपादुकाभ्यो नमः परेभ्यः परपादुकाभ्यः आचार्यसिद्धे स्वरपादुकाभ्यो नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यः अहङ्कारहीङ्काररहस्ययुक्ता श्रीङ्कारगुण्डार्थमहाविभूत्या ओङ्कारमर्म प्रतिपादिनीभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्याम्। होत्राग्निहोत्राग्निहवेशहोत्री होमादिसर्वा कृतिवासमानं यद्ब्रह्म तद्बोधवितारिणीभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्याम्। कामादिसर्प व्रजगारुणाभ्यां विवेकवैराग्यनिधिप्रदाभ्यां बोधप्रदाभ्यां नृतमोक्षदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्याम्। अनन्तसंसारसमुद्रतारा नौकायिताभ्यां स्थिरभक्तिदाभ्यां जाड्याब्धिशंशो क्षणवाडवाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्याम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ अस्य श्री गुरुगीतास्तोत्रमन्त्रस्य भगवान् सदाशिवर्षि नानाविधानि छन्दांसि श्री गुरु परमात्मा देवता हम बीजं सह शक्ति क्रों कीलकं श्री गुरु प्रसादसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः। अथ ध्यानम् हंसाभ्यां परिवृत्तपत्रकमले दिव्ये जगत्कारणे विश्वोत्कीर्णमनेकदेहनिलये स्वच्छन्दमात्मेच्छया तद्योदम्बदशाम्भवं तु चरण दीपाङ्कुरग्राहिणम् प्रत्यक्षाक्षरविग्रहं गुरुपदं ध्यायेद्विभुं शाश्वतम्। सूत उवाच कैलासशिखरे रम्ये भक्तिसन्धाननायकं प्रणम्य पार्वती भक्त्या शङ्करं परिपृच्छति। श्रीदेव्योवाच ॐ नमो देवदेवेश परात्पर जगद्गुरो सदाशिव महादेव गुरुदीक्षां प्रदेहि मे। केन मार्गेण भो स्वामिन् देहि ब्रह्ममयो भवेत् त्वं कृपां कुरु मे स्वामिन् नमामि चरणौ तव। ईश्वर उवाच मम रूपासि देवि त्वं त्वत्प्रीत्यर्थं वदाम्यहं लोकोपकारकप्रश्नो न केनापि कृतः पुरा। दुर्लभं त्रिषु लोकेषु तच्छृणुष्व वदाम्यहं गुरुं विना ब्रह्म नान्यत् सत्यं सत्यं वरानने। वेदशास्त्रपुराण इतिहासादिकानि च मन्त्रयन्त्रादिविद्याश्च स्मृतिरुच्चाटनादिकम् शैवशाक्तागमादीनि अन्यानि विविधानि च अपभ्रंशकराणीह जीवानां भ्रान्तचेतसाम्। यज्ञं व्रतं तपोदानं जपं तीर्थं तथैव च गुरुतत्त्वमविज्ञाय चरति जना। गुरुर्बुद्ध्यात्मनो नान्यत् सत्यं सत्यं न संशयः तल्लाभार्थं प्रयत्नस्तु कर्तव्यो हि। जगन्माया देहे चाज्ञानसम्भवा उदयो यत्प्रकाशेन गुरुशब्देन कथ्यते। गुरुपादाम्बुजं स्मृत्वा देहि ब्रह्म भवेद्यस्मात् त्वत्कृपार्थं वदामि ते। गुरुपादाम्बुजं स्मृत्वा जलं शिरसि धारयेत् सर्वतीर्थापगाहस्य सम्प्राप्नोति फलं नरः। शोषणं पापपङ्कस्य दीपनं ज्ञानतेजसां गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् संसारार्णवतारकम्। मूलहरणं जन्मकर्मनिवारणं ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं गुरुपादोदकं पिबेत्। गुरुपादोदकं पीत्वा गुरुरुच्चिष्टभोजनं गुरुमूर्ते सदा ध्यानं गुरुमन्त्रं सदा जपेत्। काशीक्षेत्रं तन्निवासो जाह्नवीचरणोदकं गुरुर्विश्वेश्वरः साक्षात् तारकं ब्रह्मनिश्चितं गुरोपादोदकं यत्तु गयासौ सोक्षयो वटः तीर्थराजः प्रयागश्च गुरुमूर्ते नमो गुरुमूर्तिं स्मरे नित्यं गुरुनाम सदा जपेत् गुरोराज्ञां प्रकुर्वीत गुरोरन्यन्यभावयेत् गुरुवक्त्रस्थितं ब्रह्म प्राप्यते तत्प्रसादतः गुरोर्ध्यानं सदा कुर्यात् कुलस्त्रीस्वपतिर्यथा स्वाश्रमं च स्वजातिं च स्वकीर्तिपुष्टिवर्धनम् एतत् सर्वं परित्यज्य गुरोरन्यन्यभाव अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां सुलभं परमं पदं तस्मात् सर्वप्रयत्नेन गुरोराराधनं कुरु त्रैलोक्ये स्फुटवक्तारो देवाद्यासुरपन्नगा गुरुवक्त्रस्थिता विद्या गुरुभक्त्या तु लभ्यते गोकारस्त्वन्धकारश्च ऋकारस्तेज उच्यते गुरुरेव गोकार प्रथमो वर्णो मायादिगुणभासका ऋकारो द्वितीयो ब्रह्मा मायाभ्रान्तिविनाशनम् एवं गुरुपदं श्रेष्ठं देवानामपि दुर्लभं हा हा हू हू गणश्चैव गन्धर्वैश्च प्रपूज्यते ध्रुवं तेषां च सर्वेषां नास्ति तत्त्वं गुरो परम् आसनं शयनं भूषणं वाहनादिकं साधकेन प्रदातव्यं गुरुसन्तोषकारणं गुरोराराधनं कार्यं स्वजीवित्वं निवेदये कर्मणा मनसा वाचा नित्यमाराधयेत् गुरुं दीर्घदण्डं नमस्कृत्य निर्लज्जो गुरुसन्निधौ शरीरम् इन्द्रियं प्राण सद्गुरुभ्यो निवेदये कृमिकीटभस्मविष्टा दुर्गन्धिमलमूत्रकं श्लेष्मरक्तं त्वचं मांसं वञ्चयेन्न वरानने संसारवृक्षमारूढा पतन्तो नरकार्णवे येन चैवोद्धृता सर्वे तस्मै श्रीगुरवे ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः एतवे जगतामेव संसारार्णवसेतवे प्रभवे सर्वविद्यानां सम्भवे गुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः त्वं पिता त्वं च मे माता त्वं बन्धुस्त्वं च देवता संसारप्रतिबोधार्थं यत्सत्येन जगत्सत्यं यत्प्रकाशेन भाति यदानन्देन नन्दन्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः यस्य स्थित्या सत्यमिदं यद्भाति भानुरूपतः प्रियं पुत्रादि यत्प्रीत्या तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जाग्रत् स्वप्न सुषुप्त्यादि तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। यस्य ज्ञानादिदं विश्वं न दृश्यं भिन्न भेदतः सदेकरूपरूपाय तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। यस्यामतं तस्य मतं मतं यस्या न वेदसः अनन्यभावभावाय श्रीगुरवे नमः। यस्य कारणरूपस्य कार्यरूपेण भाति कार्यकारणरूपाय तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नानारूपमिदं सर्वं न केनाप्यस्ति भिन्नता कार्यकारणता चैव यदग्निकमलद्वन्द्वं द्वन्द्वतापनिवारकं तारकं सर्वदापद्भ्य श्रीगुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम्। शिवे क्रुद्धे गुरुस्त्राता गुरु क्रुद्धे शिवो नहि तस्मात् सर्वप्रयत्नेन श्रीगुरुं शरणं व्रजेत्। वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वं वाङ्मनश्चित्तगोचरं श्वेतरक्तप्रभं गुकारं गुणातीतं ऋकारं रूपवर्जितं गुणातीतस्वरूपं च यो दद्यात् स गुरुस्मृतः। आत्रिनेत्र सर्वसाक्षी आचतुर्बाहुरच्युतः आचतुर्वदनो अयं मयाञ्जलिर्बद्धो दयासागरवृद्धये यदनुग्रहतो जन्तु चित्रसंसारमुक्तिभाग्। हे गुरो परमं रूपं विवेकचक्षुषोमृतं भाग्यान् पश्यन्ति भक्त्या प्रतिदिनं प्रिये तस्येदिशे सततमञ्जलिरेचार्ये प्रक्षेप्यते मुखरितौ मधुपैर्बुधैश्च जागर्ति यत्र भगवान् गुरुचक्रवर्ती विश्वोदय प्रलयन जगन्नित्यसाक्षी श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं दूतीक्रमं मण्डलम् षट्चतुष्टषष्टिनवकं वीरावली पञ्चकं श्रीमन्मालिनी मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरुर्मण्डलम्। अव्यस्ते सकलये सुधे गमनिलये व्याधे प्रदैर्दुष्करे प्राणायामसतैरनेककरणै दुःख दुःखात्मके दुर्जये यस्मिन्नाभ्युदिते विनाश्यति बले वायु स्वयं तत्क्षणात् प्राप्तुं दत्तजं स्वभावमनिशम् एव त्वमेकं गुरुम् स्वदेशिकस्यैव शरीरचिन्तनं भवेदनन्तस्य शिवस्य चिन्तनं स्वदेशिकस्यैव वचना कीर्तनं भवेदनन्तस्य शिवस्य कीर्तनं यत्पादरेणुकणिका कापि संसारवारिधे ते तु वन्दायते नाथं देशिकं तमुपास यस्मादनुग्रहं लब्ध्वा महदज्ञानमुत्सृजे तस्मै श्रीदेशिकेन्द्राय नमस्ताभीष्टसिद्धये पादाब्जं सर्वसंसार दावानलविनाशकं ब्रह्मरन्ध्रे शिताम्भोज मध्यस्थं चन्द्रमण्डले अकथादित्रिरेखाब्जे सहस्रदलमण्डले हंसपार्श्वत्रिकोणे च स्मरे तन्मध्यगं गुरुम् सकलभुवनसृष्टिः कल्पिता शेषपुष्टिर्निखिलनिगमदृष्टे अवगुणपरिमाष्टे मोक्षमार्गैकदृष्टि सकलभुवनरङ्गा स्थापनस्तम्भयश्री सकर्ण तत्त्वमाला समष्टि सकलसमयसृष्टि सच्चिदानन्ददृष्टि निवसतु मयि नित्यं श्रीगुरुर्दिव्यदृष्टि अग्निशुद्धं समन्तातु ज्वालापरीचकादिया मन्त्रराजमिमं मन्ये हर्निशम्पादमित्युतः तदेजति तन्नैजति तद्दूरे तत्समीपके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्य बाह्यतः अजोऽहमजरोऽहं च अनादिनिधनस्वयम् अविकारश्चिदानन्द अन्यान्महतो महान् अपूर्वाणां परं नित्यं स्वयं ज्योतिर्निरामयं यजं परमाकाश श्रुते प्रत्यक्षमैत्रीयम् अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम् यस्य चात्मतपो वेद देशिकं च सदा स्मरे मननं तद्वदामि महामते साधुत्वं च मया धृत्वा त्वयि तिष्ठति साम्प्रतम् अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः विराजिता पदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूर्यो यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण ज्ञानमुत्पद्यते स्वयं य एव सर्वसम्प्राप्ते तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः बन्धुकलातीतं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं चैव तथा चैव चराचरं व्याप्तं येन जगत्सर्वं श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढस्तत्त्वमाला विभूषिता अनेकजन्म सम्प्राप्त सर्वकर्मविदाहिने स्वात्मज्ञानप्रभावेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरुपदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। गुरुरादिरनादिश्च गुरुपरमदैवतं गुरुपरातरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री। सप्तसागरपर्यन्तं तीर्थस्नानादिकं फलं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपयो बिन्दु सहस्रांशेन दुर्लभम्। हरौरुष्टे गुरुस्त्राता गुरुरुष्टेन कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वप्रयत्नेन श्रीगुरुं शरणं व्रजेत्। गुरुरेव जगत्सर्वं ब्रह्म विष्णु शिवात् परातरं नास्ति ध्येयो। ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं लभ्यते गुरुभक्तितः गुरुपरातरं नास्ति ध्येयोऽसौ गुरुमार्गिभिः। मनसा वचसा चैव नित्यमाराधयेत् गुरुं गुरुकृपाप्रसादेन ब्रह्म विष्णु सदाशिवा समर्था प्रभवादौ च केवलं गुरुसेवया। देवकिन्नरगन्धर्व पितरो यक्षचारण अहङ्कारगर्वेण तपो कुहरावर्ते घटयन्त्रे यथा घटाः न मुक्ता देवगन्धर्वा पितरो यक्षकिन्नरा ऋषया सर्वसिद्धाश्च ध्यानं शृणु महादेवी सर्वानन्दप्रदायकं सर्वसौख्यकरं नित्यं भुक्तिमुक्तिविधायकं। श्रीपरब्रह्मगुरुं स्मरामि श्रीमत्परब्रह्मगुरुं वदामि श्रीमत्परब्रह्मगुरुं नमामि श्रीमत्परब्रह्मगुरुं भजामि। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधि साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नित्यं शुद्धं निराभासं निराकारं निरञ्जनं नित्यबोधं चिदानन्दं गुरुं ब्रह्मा नमाम्यहम्। हृदं भुजे कर्णिकमध्य संस्थे सिंहासने संस्थितदिव्यमूर्तिं ध्यायेत् गुरुं चन्द्रकला प्रकाशं चित्पुस्तकाभीष्टवरं ददानं पीताम्बरं श्वेतविलेपपुष्पं मुक्ताविभूषं मामाङ्गपीठस्थितदिव्यशक्ति मन्दास्थितं सान्द्रकृपानिधानम् आनन्दमानन्दकरं प्रसन्नं ज्ञानस्वरूपं निजबोधयुक्तं योगीन्द्रमीड्यं भवरोगवैद्यं श्रीमद्गुरुं नित्यमहं नमामि। यस्मिन् सृष्टिस्थितिध्वंस निग्रहानुग्रहात्मकं कृत्यं पञ्चविधं शाश्वत भासते तं नमाम्यहम्। प्रातः शिरसिशुक्लाब्जे द्विनेत्रं द्विभुजं गुरुं वराभययुतं शान्तं स्मरेतं नामपूर्वकम्। न गुरोराधिकं न गुरोराधिकं न गुरोराधिकं न गुरोराधिकं शिवजानतो शिवजानतो इदमेव शिवं त्विदमेव शिवं त्विदमेव शिवं त्विदमेव शिवं मम शासनतो मम शासनतो मम शासनतो मम शासनतो। एवं विधं गुरुं ध्यात्वा ज्ञानमुत्पद्यते स्वयं तत्सद्गुरुप्रसादेन मुक्तोऽहमेति भावये। गुरुदर्शितमार्गेण मनःशुद्धिं तु कारये अनित्यं खण्डयेत् सर्वं ज्ञेयं स्वरूपं च ज्ञानं च मन उच्यते। ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं समं कुर्यात् नान्यः पन्था द्वितीयकः। एवं श्रुत्वा महादेवी गुरुनिन्दां करोति यः स याति नरकं घोरं यावच्चन्द्रदिवाकरः। यावत्कल्पान्तको देहः गुरुं स्मरे गुरुलोपो न स्वच्छन्दो यदि वा भवेत्। ओंकारेण न वक्तव्यं गुरुरग्रेण वक्तव्यम् असत्यं च कदाचन। भवेद् ब्रह्म मुनिभिः पन्नगैर्वापि सुरैर्वाशापितो यदि कालमृत्यो भयाद्वापि गुरुरक्षति पार्वती। अशक्ता हि सुराद्यश्च अशक्ता मुनयस्तथा गुरुशापेन ते शीघ्रं क्षयं यान्ति न संशय मन्त्रराजमिदं देवी गुरोरित्यक्षरद्वयं स्मृतिवेदार्थवाक्येन गुरु साक्षात् परं पदम् श्रुतिस्मृति अविज्ञाय केवलं गुरुसेवका ते वै सन्न्यासिना प्रोक्ता निर्गुणं बोधयेत् परं सर्वब्रह्म दीपो दीपान्तरं यथा गुरुकृपाप्रसादेन आसनं परमात्मा स्वरूपकं स्थावरं जङ्गमं चैव प्रणमामि जगन्मया वन्देऽहं सच्चिदानन्दं वेदातीतं नित्यं पूर्णं निराकारं निर्गुणं स्वात्मसंस्थितम् तथात्मनि चिदाकारम् आनन्दं सोऽहमित्युत अङ्गुष्ठमात्रपुरुषं ध्यायतश्चिन्मयं हृदि तत्र स्फुरति भावोऽय शृणुतं कथयाम्यहम् अगोचरं तथा गम्यं नामरूपविवर्जितं निःशब्दं तत् स्वभावं ब्रह्म पालति यथा गन्धः स्वभावेन शीतोष्णादि स्वभावेन तथात्मतः स्वयं तथा विदो भूत्वा शीतोब्रह्मरवत्तत्र ध्यानं भवति तादृशम् गुरुध्यानं सदा कृत्वा स्वयं पिण्डे पदे तथा रूपे मुक्तो सोनाथ संशया श्रीपार्वती उवाच पिण्डं किं नु महादेव पदं किं समुदाहृतं रूपातीतं च रूपं किम् एतदाख्याहि शङ्करम् श्रीमहादेव उवाच पिण्डं कुण्डलिनी शक्ति पदं हंसमुदाहृतं रूपं बिन्दुरिति गेयम् रूपे मुक्तावरानने रूपातीते तु ये मुक्ता ते मुक्ता नात्र संशया स्वयं सर्वमयो भूत्वा परं तत्त्वं विलोकये परात् परतरं नान्यत् सर्वमेतन्निरालयम् तस्यावलोकनं प्राप्य सर्वसङ्गविवर्जिता एकाकिनी निःस्पृहा शान्ता इष्टासेतत्प्रसादतः लब्धं वा धनलब्धं वा स्वल्पं वा बहुलं तथा निष्कामेनैव भोक्तव्यं सदा सन्तुष्टचेतसा सर्वज्ञापदमिद्याहुः नमस्ते यत्पुत्रस्य आदेश पुण्यभाजनम् उपसत्सनं देवी भवाग्रे कथितं मया उपदेशस्तथा देवी गुरुमार्गेण मुक्तिदः गुरुभक्ति सदा ध्यानं सकलं तव कीर्तितम् अनेन यद्भवेत् कार्यं तद्वदामि महामते लोकोपकारकं देवी लौकिकं तु न भावये लौकिकात् कर्मणो यान्ति ज्ञानहीना भवार्णवा ज्ञानी तु भावये सर्व इदं तु भक्तिभावेन पठते शृणुते यदि लिखित्वा तत्प्रदातव्यं तत्सर्वं सफलं भवेत् गुरुगीतात्मकं देवी शुद्धतत्त्वं मयोदितं भवव्याधिविनाशार्थं स्वयमेव जपेत् सदा गुरुगीताक्षरैकं मन्त्रराजमिमं जपेत् अन्ये च विविधा मन्त्रफलं नारन्ति षोडशी अनन्तफलमाप्नोति गुरुगीतात् सर्वपापप्रशमनं सर्वदारिद्र्यनाशनं कालमृत्युभयहरं सर्वसङ्कटनाशनं राक्षसभूतानां सुरव्याघ्रभयापहम् महाव्याधिहरं सर्वं विभूतिसिद्धिदं भवेत् अथवा मोहनं वश्यं स्वयमेव जपेत् सदा वस्त्रासने च दारिद्र्यं पाषाणे रोगसम्भवा मेदिन्यां दुःखमाप्नोति हस्ते भवन्निष्फलम् ज्ञानसिद्धि मोक्षश्रीव्याघ्रचर्मणि उशासने ज्ञानसिद्धि सर्वसिद्धिसुखं बले कुशैर्वा दुर्वया देवी आसने शुभ्रकम्बले उपवेश्य ततो देवी जपेदेकाग्रमानसा वश्ये पूर्वमुखो जपेत् दक्षिणे मारणं प्रोक्तं पश्चिमे च धनागमः मोहनं सर्वभूतानां बन्धमोक्षकरं भवेत् देवराजप्रियकरं सर्वलोकवशं भवेत् सर्वेषां संवनकरं गुणानां च विवर्धनं दुष्कर्मनाशनं चैव सुकर्मसिद्धिदं भवेत् असिद्धं साधयेत् कार्यं नवग्रहभयापहं दुःस्वप्ननाशनं चैव सुस्वप्नफलदायकम् सर्वशान्तिकरं नित्यं तथा वन्द्या पुत्रदम् अवैधव्यं करं स्त्रीणां सौभाग्यदायकं सदा आयुरारोग्यमैश्वर्यं पुत्रपौत्रप्रवर्धनम् अकामता श्रीविधवा जपान्मोक्षमवाप्नुयात् आवैधव्यं सकामातु लभते चान्यजन्मनि सर्वदुःखभयं बाधाप्रशमनं धर्मार्थकाममोक्षदम् यं यं चिन्तयते कामं तं तं प्राप्नोति निश्चितम् कामितस्य कामधेनु कल्पना कल्पपादपः चिन्तामणिश्चिन्तितस्य सर्वमङ्गल मोक्षहेतुर्जपे नित्यं मोक्षश्रियमवाप्नुयात् भोगकामो जपेद्यो वै तस्य कामफलप्रदम् अपेक्षाक्तश्च सौरश्च माणपत्यश्च वैष्णवा दैवश्च सिद्धिदं देवि अथ काम्या जपे स्थानं अदायामि वरानने सागरे वा सरितीरे तवा हरिहरालये विष्णुदेवालयेषु घटे च दातृमूलेव मठे वृन्दावने तथा पवित्रे निर्मले स्थाने नित्यानुष्ठानतोऽपि वा निर्वेदनेन मौनेन गपमेतं समाचरे शमशाने वयभूमौ तु वटमूलान्तिके तथा छेद्यन्ति दातरे मूले सूतवृक्षस्य सन्निधौ गुरुपुत्रो वरं मूर्खस्तत् सिद्ध्यन्ति नान्यथा शुभकर्माणि सर्वाणि दीक्षाव्रततपांसि च गीता नैवा च गुरु साक्षात् सदा सद्ब्रह्मवित्तमा तस्य स्थानानि सर्वाणि पवित्राणि न संशया सर्वशुद्धपवित्रोऽसौ स्वभावाद्यत्र तिष्ठति यत्र देवागणा सर्वे क्षेत्रेऽपि सेवसन्ति आसनस्थशयानो वा संस्थितन् वदन्नपि अश्वारूढो गजारूढा सुप्तो वा जाग्रतोऽपि वा शुचिस्माश्च सदा ज्ञानी गीता जपेन तु तस्य दर्शनमात्रेण तथात्मा परमात्मनि ज्ञानी जीवात्मा परमात्मानि लीयते ऐक्येन रमते ज्ञानी तत्र तत्र दिवानिशम् एवं विधो महामुक्ता भावभक्तिं करोति यः सर्वसन्देहरहितो मुक्तो भवति पार्वती भोक्तिमुक्ते स्वयं शिवाग्रे च सरस्वती सत्यं सत्यं पुनः सत्यं धर्म्यं सांख्यं मयोदितं गुरुगीता समं नास्ति एको देव एकधर्म एकनिष्ठा परन्तपः परतरं नान्यः नास्ति तत्त्वं गुरो परम् माता धन्या पिता धन्यो धन्यो वंशकुलं तथा धन्या च वसुधा देवी आकल्पजन्मनां कोट्या जप व्रत तप क्रिया मन्दभाग्याशये नरा गुरुसेवां न कुर्वन्ति सत्यं सत्यं वरानने ब्रह्म विष्णु महेशाश्च देवर्षि पितृकिन्नरा सिद्धचारण यक्षाश्च अन्येऽपि मुनयो जना गुरुभाव परं तीर्थम् अन्यतीर्थं निरर्थकं सर्वतीर्थाश्रयो देवी पादाङ्गुष्ठं सवर्तते जपेन जयमाप्नोति अनन्तफलमाप्नुयात् येन कर्म त्यजन् सर्वं दानानि च धर्माणि च येन कर्म फलप्रदं गुरुगीता प्रयाणेव संग्रामे रिपुसङ्कटे जपञ्जयामवाप्नोति मरणे मुक्तिदायकं समाजधर्मस्य गुरुपुत्रस्य सिद्ध्यति इदं रहस्यं नो वाच्यं तवाग्रे कथितं मया स्वामी मुख्य गणेशादि वैष्णवादीनां च पार्वती साक्षी न वक्तव्य सत्यं सत्यं वदाम्यहम् श्रद्धा भक्तियुताय च प्रवक्तव्यमिदं देवी ममात्मासि सदा प्रिये अवक्ते वञ्चके दूर्थे पाखण्डे नासिके नरे मनसापि न वक्तव्यं गुरुगीता कदाचन संसारसागरसमुद्धरणैकमन्त्रं ब्रह्मादिदेवमुनिपूजितसिद्धमन्त्रम् दारिद्र्यदुःखभवरोगविनाशं महाभयहरं गुरुराजमन्त्रम् इति श्रीस्कन्धपुराणे खण्डे ईश्वर पार्वती संवादे गीता समाप्त श्री गुरुदेवार्पणमस्तु नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे संसाराणि भक्तकार्ये कदेहाय नमस्ते चित्तदात्मने निर्वासनं निराकाङ्क्षं सर्वदोषविवर्जितं निरालम्बं निरातङ्कं निर्ममं निरहङ्कारं समलोष्टात्मकाञ्चनं समदुःखसुखं धीरम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् अविनाशिनमात्मानम् एकं विज्ञाय तत्त्वतः वीतरागानन्दं नमाम्यहम् नाहं देहो न मे देहो जीवो नाहम् कर्माणं कामसङ्कल्पवर्जितं हीनं तम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् स्वभावेनैव यो योगी सुखं भोगं न वाञ्छति यदृच्छालासन्तुष्टं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहम् नैव निन्दा प्रशंसाभ्यां यस्य विक्रियते मनः आत्मक्रीडां महात्मानम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् नित्यं जाग्रदवस्थायां स्वप्नवद्योपतिष्ठते निश्चिन्तं चिन्मयात्मानम् आनन्दं नमाम्यहम् दुर्क्षं नास्ति प्रियं नास्ति नास्ति यस्य शुभाशुभम् वेदज्ञानाविहीनं तम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् जडं पश्यति नो यस्तु जगत् पश्यति चिन्मयं नित्ययुक्तं गुणातीतं भवते भुवनत्रयं पावनं जङ्गमं तीर्थम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् सर्वपूज्यं सदा पूर्णम् अखण्डानन्दविग्रहं सप्रकाशं चिदानन्दम् आनन्दं नमाम्यहम् निष्कलं निष्क्रियं शान्तं निर्मलं परमामृतं गणेशपुरीवासिनम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् प्रेमपूर्णं सुदर्शनं ज्ञानपूर्णं कृपामूर्तिं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहम् दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्येत बन्धेभ्यो मुक्तशान्यान् विमोचयेत् स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्याः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वस्तरतु दुर्गाणि सर्वो भद्राणि पश्यतु सर्वकामान् वाप्नोतु सर्वः सर्वत्र नन्दतु स्वस्ति मात्रौत पितॄनो अस्तु स्वस्ति गोभ्यो जगते पुरुषेभ्यः विश्वं सुभूतं सुविदात्रं नो अस्तु जोगे वदृशेम सूर्यम् ॐ शान्ति 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 आरती करूं सद्गुरु की करूं सद्गुरु के प्यारे गुरुवर की आरती करूं गुरुवर की आरती करूं सद्गुरु की करूं सद्गुरु के प्यारे गुरुवर की आरती करूं गुरुवर की जय गुरुदेव अमल अविनाशी ज्ञान रूप तर के बासी जय गुरुदेव अमल अविनाशी ज्ञान रूप अंतर के बासी पग पग पर देते प्रकाश जैसे किरण दिन कर की आरती करूं गुरु पर की आरती करूं सद्गुरु की करूं सद्गुरु प्यारे गुरुवर की आरती करूं गुरुवर की जब से शरण तुम्हारे आए अमृत से मीठे फल पाए जब से शरण तुम्हारे आए शरण तुम्हारे क्या है छाया कल्प वृक्ष तरुवर की आरती करूं गुरुवर की आरती करूं सद्गुरु की करूं सद्गुरु के प्यारे गुरुवर की आरती करूं गुरुवर की ब्रह्म ज्ञान के पूर्ण प्रकाशक योग ज्ञान के अटल प्रवर्तक पूर्ण प्रकाशक योग ज्ञान के अटल प्रवर्तक जय गुरु चरण सरो जमिटा दे व्यथा हमारे और की आरती करूं गुरुवर की आरती करूं सद्गुरु की करूं सद्गुरु के प्यारे गुरुवर की आरती करूं गुरुवर की अंधकार से हमें निकाला दिखलाया है हमारा उजाला अंधकार से तव से जाने छान रहे थे काक सुनो दर दर की आरती करूं गुरु की आरती करूं सदा गुरु की करूं सदा गुरु के प्यारे गुरु वर की आरती करूं गुरु वर की संशय मिटा विवेक कराया भवसागर से पार लंघाया संशय मिटा अमर प्रदीप जला कर कर दे निशा दूर इस तन की आरती करूं गुरु वर की आरती करूं सदा गुरु की करूं सदा गुरु के प्यारे गुरु वर की आरती करूं गुरु वर की भेदों बीच भेद बताया आवागमन विमुक्त कराया धन्य हुए हम पाकर धारा ब्रह्म ज्ञान निर्झर की आरती करूं गुरु वर की आरती करूं सदा गुरु की करूं सदा गुरु के प्यारे गुरु वर की आरती करूं गुरु वर की करो कृपा सद्गुरु जग तारण सतपथ दर्शक भ्रांति निवारण करो कृपा सद्गुरु जग तारण सतपथ दर्शक भ्रांति निवारण छाया नित्य ज्योति दिखलान पाले लीला धर के आरती करूं गुरु हर के आरती करूं सद्गुरु करूं सद्गुरु के प्यारे वर के आरती करूं गुरु वर के नित्यानंद सद्गुरु दाता शक्तिपात के दिव्य प्रदाता मुक्तानंद सद्गुरु दाता हर के वास गणेश पुरी बाबा बादारले जनकी आरती करूं गुरु वर के आरती करूं सदा गुरु के करूं सदा गुरु के प्यारे गुरु वर के आरती करूं गुरु वर की ओम चैतन्यं शाश्वतं शान्तं व्योमातीतं तीतं निरञ्जनं नारविन्दो कलातीतं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
Sadhgurunath Maharaj Ki Day. Welcome everyone to Sunday morning satsang here at Shanti Mandir. And for those of you who weren't able to make it today, welcome to you as well, wherever you might happen to be. Hope everyone is good and doing well. Let us begin, as they say. Nityanandaya Gurave Shisha Samsara Harine Bhakta Karye Kadehaya Namaste Chitsaratmane Om Sahasvaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitam Astu Mahavidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. So as we enter into the 8th month of studying the Upanishads, how are we? How is it going? What is it bringing up in you? I'll remind you, there is this, in each beginning of each Upanishad, there's usually an invocation. And this one was Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mahavidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Sadgurunath Maharaj. Peace, peace, peace. So when we chant those mantras, that's what we're saying, and that is the peace invocation at the beginning of the Katha Upanishad. And so when I said, how are we going with it, it's like, how are we integrating it? Because it is integrated in the path. It is there in so many different ways. We chant things from the Upanishads, the teachings come from the Upanishads, but what are we doing with those teachings? Are they going into us? Are we connecting with them in some way? That is the thing, because the Upanishads are not just studying a philosophy out here. They are a part of the way that we live our, if you will, spiritual life. If we go to the tradition of the Upanishads, coming out of the Vedas, Vedanta, that is the path, the ancient path of India. And we won't even go into when did it start. They are what we call Shruti, so that means they have been heard in the deepest levels of meditation and then transmitted and shared. So no one sat down and wrote the Upanishads, no one sat down and wrote the Vedas. It's not like that. So the invocation, the mantras, the chants that come out of the Vedas and the Upanishads, they touch us at the deepest possible level. They touch us at the level of the subtlest evocation or movement of sound. And the idea, obviously, is to go back to that level, to return to that state. And so it is like a full circle. So it's come out, and then we, for whatever reason, are turned on by it, drawn to it, and we start to practice the teachings with the aim of what? Returning to that experience, to that state. So I call that full circle, completing the circle. And what I'm stressing here is that it isn't something, and I know you pretty much know this, it isn't something, well, you could study it in a university, in a college, but it is not studied in that way. It is practiced for an experience as opposed to simply having knowledge of it. And one of the commentators, I can't remember which one at this moment, said, it's like I won't use the Hindi or Sanskrit, it's like a driver, a truck driver or something, coming into a lecture on Vedanta. And if it's a reasonably good lecture, they feel something. They start to feel something. Oh, that was, wow. But when they go back to driving their truck, gone. They're back driving, shouting, what do you have? Because what's in them as a result of the life that they lead, and this isn't a criticism of life, it's just the way it is, the different patterns and paths of life, what takes over are those mantras. And we know those mantras, don't we? They take over. And we are living with that, and we're struggling, and we're grappling, and we're sometimes fighting, and we don't feel so good, and it's all of that, and that's what we live with. So what the sages, the teachers are telling us is that unless we practice what we hear and receive and understand in the Upanishad, that'll happen to us. We just go back out into the world, and it's like, oh yeah, we start doing that dance. And it may not be the dance that we want to keep doing. So, just think about it in those ways. And if you look at, there are many spiritual paths out there, obviously, and they're all, if we think about it from the point of view of the Sanatana Dharma, they're all paths to the truth, if they're true paths, okay? But even as they're paths to the truth, we don't want to get confused. There was an image that came up as I was just reflecting on this over the last week or so. One of the commentators said, we think often of all paths leading to truth. Ekam Sat. There's one truth. And it's like paths going up the mountain. You go to that side, you can go that side, you can do that side, and Devyani's laughing because her dad did a lot of that, walking up mountains and all of that. And it's true. And you get there and you go, oh, you're here too. Oh, I saw you way down there, but I didn't realize this is wonderful. We're all here together. Now, here's a subtlety. If you could do this, if you could flatten the mountain, okay, so now it's like a circular thing, isn't it? And if you had all these paths heading to the center of the circle, what would you notice? I'll tell you. The lines are not parallel. They couldn't be, because if they were parallel, they wouldn't hit the center of the circle, which is the top of the mountain. Okay? So some of them are like this. So when we interact with different paths, along the way, there's slight differences, there's slight deviations. And those things can confuse us. And then we start to get into good, bad paths. What are they saying? They're right, they're wrong. No, it's still all right. But the way they talk about it, the way they envision it, it's different. Okay? So I'm just saying that to talk a bit about the importance of being true to your path. Not as a way of saying other paths are wrong, but just as a mature way of understanding different journeys, okay, that are still all leading to the same place. So, as we get into the Upanishads and keep moving with it, what we want to do is to get subtler and subtler in our journey. And these are the kinds of things that's very important. So we don't want to be just a truck driver or just a visitor or someone who walks in and says, that's great, I got that, I'll go away. Because it's probably not true. Unless you're practicing it, that's the only way you can then say, I got that. Because you're doing it. And you're doing it every day. Then we get into another thing with the Upanishads. And that is that there are many of them. Obviously, generally they'll say, okay, there's 108, and there's probably more. But there's 10 principal ones. So is it chronological? Is it, we start thinking, well, which one comes first? And it's not quite like that. They're all a part of the Vedic path. And what's important here is that we start to understand that the Vedic path is a way of life. It's a spiritual way of life, okay? And it leads us in the early stages, the student and the householder, they're part of the Vedic path. And the rituals and the chants and all of those things that we do, they are legitimate things on the path. And they allow us, encourage us, give us a way of living a dharmic life. But here's the subtlety, I think. That the first two stages, the student and the householder, are what we call karma kanda. You're acting, you're doing things, you're living life. And the practices, the chants, the rituals in particular that are done then, they are to make our lives better. So we actually want something at those stages. You know, so we pray to the different deities, and there are plenty of them. We pray to those deities, we invoke them to get something, okay? That's not a bad thing, because we need that to live a good life. The second two stages of the path is different. It starts to be a shift. And the shift is now we're going back to the ultimate truth, what we call Atma Vidya, the knowledge of our true self. So then we're not looking to get something. It's a shift. We're not looking to get, we're looking to, if you want to say get something, it's experience of our own true self. So then you start hearing these things about vairagya, okay, you know, detachment, tapasya, all of those kinds of things. And there can be a moment of, what's going on here? Okay, well, I thought, and the detachment part is very, very important. So when we're looking at the Upanishads, which are quite literally the end of the Vedas, Upanishad, the end of the Vedas, and that's why it's then called Vedanta, anta meaning the end, the ultimate truth. Now we are letting go, letting go. And so the Katha Upanishad, one of the things that's in that is that there's this whole thing that's going on between the father who is giving, and according to the first, particularly the second stage of householder, he's a Brahmin, he's doing his rightful traditions and rituals and giving. One of the things you do is you give. The young boy, who's obviously an advanced soul, because at the age of 9, he's questioning his dad, notices that his dad is performing the action of giving, but it's a little bit not so good. So he's giving cows, okay? But the cows are old and weak, and the son notices that. And so I don't want to go into all the detail of that, but the point there is that, in a sense, his son calls him on that. Dad, what are you, this is all paraphrase, what are you doing? You know, these cows, they couldn't give, I don't think they have any milk to give, even. And his dad is like, just, sit over there, be quiet. And he's not quiet. He says it again. What are you doing? And he says it again. And And so what comes out of that interaction when his dad ultimately says, and son really gets him by saying, who will you give me to? His dad said, I give you to death. I was talking with, maybe it was Dana or someone the other day, and I said, modern world, the dad would said, go to hell. Amounts to the same thing. I give you to death. The son being a good son. In the yogic tradition, your father is like the guru. Your father, yes, and also like the guru. And like with the guru, you follow their commands. Without hesitation, he goes to death, heading off to Yama. And there's a subtle thing in there I want to share with you in some of the commentaries, and that is that Nachiketa has this thought as he's going off to death. And the thought is, I wonder what Yama is going to use me to do in the sense of good thing. I wonder what good thing. So, you see, the thinking is shifting. The thinking is that if I follow the truth, if I follow the teachings of my father, the guru, it's always for a good cause. Can you follow me on this? It's like, if you're true, if it's the Sanatana Dharma, if it's dharmic, then something good is always going to come out of it. And his son thinks like this. He's a very advanced soul, obviously. So he thinks, not only I'm going immediately, because my dad said to go, to death, but also something good is going to come out of this. So the richness of, what I'm trying to get at is that the richness of the Upanishads is they get into the depth of life. And they're really showing us how it can all be a part of the journey. It's all be a part of the journey. If we are true, and this is, again, one of those things that I think it's important for us to realize, it's where we come from with our intention. That is the most important thing. So because Nachiketa's intention is, this is all a part of the path. He sees no bad thing in it. He doesn't see, oh, my dad's lost it, and it's going to all fall apart and it's awful. He sees in the scheme of the Vedas and that path, it's all good. Yes, there will be difficulties. Yes, there will be challenges. He recognizes all of that. But if I'm true in the way I follow this path, it can only lead to good. You get me with on that one? That's an important thing. Because if you want to make the separation, it's probably the difference between the spiritual and the material life. The material life will separate things out and say, this is good, that's bad, that's high, that's low. When you, even if you think about it from the point of view of Kashmir Shaivism, if all of this is consciousness, what's bad? See the shift in the thing? If it's all consciousness, and if it's all the play of consciousness, then, it's going to get me there in the end. So it's profound shift in the way we look at life. And what I think is really quite beautiful about Vedas, Vedanta, and the Vedic life is that it's set up so that it's all a part of it. It tells you how to be a good student, that stage of your life. It tells you how to be a good householder in that stage of your life. It tells you when you're, we would say, going into semi-retirement or something like that, the vanaprastha stage, which is like the forest dweller. So you haven't totally left life, but you're headed to the forest, and now you're giving more time to thinking about the highest truth, Atma Vidya, the knowledge of the self. You haven't checked out completely yet, but because you could then go to sannyasa, which is the total renunciation. So, but you see how it's all laid out? And it says, yeah, that's a stage, and that's the next stage. You've done your household duties, had the kids, you raised them, they're growing up, and all of that. It's all a part of it. So let me share a little interaction I had with someone. I think it's relevant to this. A young man came, and he was visiting here with some people. I won't go into all the... He's visiting. A lovely young man. And, you know, an ashram has vibes. And because of what it is, if you are somewhat sensitive, you can catch those vibes. You don't have to understand it, you don't have to know what it's about, but it may be as simple as, this place is interesting. Some of us know who spend more time here, and we know taxis, and we come in and the taxi driver or the Uber driver drives in and they are like, oh, I live in Walden. I've never seen this place. And gee, this is interesting. It has a certain feel about it. Anyway, so he was here, but he was here for a program, and he was doing things. And Monday came, and they were leaving, and he came into where I work and do some of my stuff, and he was sitting there, and he said, I've seen you around, and, you know, do you live here? You know, and I tried to explain my situation. Yeah, I'm here sometime I go. And he said, so this is interesting, because he has an Indian background. And so he's aware of these things. And he said, you know, my mom and I are kind of into this thing. And we visited India not long ago, and we went to these temples, and it was lovely. And we kind of drawn to an ancient saint, Neem Karoli Baba, you know. Some of you might know him if you're of that ilk. And he said, I just feel more and more like I need to give more time in my life. I'm young. I've just graduated from college a couple of years ago. But I kind of go back and forth. And he said, I was in the temple, and the priests were doing these Vedic mantras and chants, and there's different mudras you do. You know, you may have seen it here if you come for like Navaratri and what have you. And he said, they're doing this and doing that. He said, and I kind of understand those things. And I thought, I should join in and do it. And I said, so what'd you do? He said, I didn't. And I said, why not? His response really caught me. Immediately, without a hesitation, he said, because of my ego. I went, whoa, okay, you're onto something. It's like it was like that Nachiketa thing, with just this intuitive understanding. You know, he knew what was getting in the way was his ego. And he was starting to feel like, I don't want that to keep being the case. I know there's something here that I want. But how do I just keep letting my ego? Now he fast forwarded, because he had said to me, I've been having, you know, these spiritual experiences. I didn't expect what he said next. I said, so what happened, you know? He said, well, a bee stung my earlobe. Now, remember, he's thinking about doing this and this. I said, what did you do? He said, I did this, because the bee stung me. And I couldn't help myself. I laughed. I said, what did you make of that? He said, I realized it was kind of saying, do it. You know, if it takes a bee sting, do it. And he said, that was a spiritual experience for me. Because I realized, he used these words. He says, I realized the universe was saying, do it. Don't just think about it, do it. And I think one of the biggest things about the Upanishads is they're always encouraging us to do it. Why? Because if you think about it and you get inside and you read them, they're kind of all about life experiences. You know, a son goes off to school and studies, and that's appropriate at that stage of life, like I was saying to you. And his father's told him, go study, do it, get your degree. And then when he gets his degree and he says, I finished that, and he's all proud, you know, and everything. And the dad says something like, so have you learned that which by learning everything is learned? And the son was, oh, I do. No, they didn't really teach us that, you know. And there's a whole series of questions. So the stories model the path of Vedanta and the whole tradition. It says, yes, that's appropriate at this stage, and this is appropriate at this stage, but don't stop. Because the ultimate goal is to learn that by which learning everything is known. That's what it's about. But we have to do it. And so I was thinking about these things, and I said, wow, that's what we really need to think about when we're engaging with the Upanishads, that we have to get in them. I mean, I have, the one that I'm particularly looking at this year is the Katha Upanishad, and if you see this, I love this cover, by the way. It's a dialogue with death. A dialogue with death. Katha is story, and these are the stories, and it's about Nachiketa. Nachiketa's name, I probably mentioned it to you before. Nachiketa means one who doesn't know, but wants to know. That's a great name. One who doesn't know, and that's what he does. Because he goes, as his father yells at him, but he goes to the Lord of Death, and he waits. He's 9 years old. Now, the story here it reads that he stands outside the house for 3 days, 3 nights. Now, here's another, I guess it's a kind of teaching or alert or what have you for you. Sometimes people will say, as they're just getting into it, they'll say, where did he stand? Did he stand there? 3 days and nights? Come on. How could you do that? That's wrong thinking. What's being communicated here is not a detective story, okay, where you start to enter into, well, how did he do that? And why did he do it? And it's like what you want to get is that this young man was so focused on the goal that nothing was going to deter him. That's what we should be thinking about. And that is something for us to learn. How am I like Nachiketa? Can I stand? Can I just be? Can I be patient? And when the first thing that, because again, the Dharma, the first thing that the Lord of Death, Yama, does is he says, oh, I've left a guest here for 3 nights. I'll give you, 3 boons, which is the way it should be done. And he doesn't hesitate. There's no like in a court of law. Well, did you really stand here that whole time? And it's just like, okay, first boon, done. Second boon, done. But when he gets to the third one and he's saying, I want to know the answer to this question. It's a kind of subtle question about when a soul dies, what happens? Are they still, so it's getting into that tricky space. And Yama, when he hears that third one, he hesitates. He almost goes, no. Ask for something else. Now, and Nachiketa just keeps asking that same thing. And Yama keeps offering all sorts of goodies. I can give you this, I can give you time in heaven, I can make you live a long time, I can give you all the enjoyments, the sense pleasures that there are. Take those and be happy. And I might even have what he says here, which could be just interesting to hear the words and the thing that goes back and forth. First of all, in these things, the point is the Upanishads are always talking about this highest knowledge, and the Katha Upanishad is considered one of the clearest ones in that way. So if you're interested, it's a good one for that. And it says this self-knowledge, this Atmavidya, was demanded by Nachiketa. And Yamaraja tried to avoid it, but eventually he surrendered, which is an interesting thing, you know. And he says to him, having attained the blissful Atman, you will be forever happy. Okay? And that is the whole point. I don't see the exact... Oh, I like this statement too. When Nachiketa keeps saying no to all of these things, he says, one point he says, you may keep yourself these carriages, these singing and dancing girls, I don't want that. And that's when Lord Yama, he doesn't say it so much, but the commentary points out that he's impressed. He's impressed with this seeker. And then he starts to teach him the truth. And the lesson in this is we try to apply it to ourselves, is that when you come to a true place, to a true teacher and the guru, they don't necessarily give you the answer immediately. Why? Because they're looking to see, are you serious? Are you a serious seeker? Because oh, I don't know if I have that one. Again, Dana and I were having a chat about this. I think it was yesterday, and it's the one about the path being sharp as the edge of a razor. That's the warning. If you want to walk this path, it's sharp as the edge of the razor, meaning to stay on it. You know, it's so easy to tip off this way, that way. You have to be so vigilant to stay on the path. And the vigilance is self-vigilance. Am I doing it? Am I being true? Or am I just kind of slipping and sliding and fooling myself? And so all of those things are really important. The thing about when you're looking at books, you don't necessarily find the exact thing, but basically that's that comment. And it is said to stay on the path, you need to really listen clearly, closely, and you study the scriptures, not because the answer is in the scripture, per se, in a concrete way, but because it's at least guiding you in the right direction. And that distinction, there's like a little bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it a paradox, also a contradiction, you know, so it's saying study the scriptures, and that's an injunction in Vedanta, you know, Vedic life, study the scriptures every day. But don't think that means the knowledge is in the book, because the knowledge is only in here. And it's not even, and this is another conversation we're having, it's not even a thing. See, when we talk about it and we use words, that's the limitation of words. We talk about the self, for example. We talk about the self as if it's a thing, as if it's an object. And that itself is misleading. Because it's not a thing in here like your heart's in here, your lungs are in here, your spleen and all of that. And so, whilst it's good that we are now turning in, and we get in there and we're like, yeah, well, where, how, you know, it's subtler than that. What is really being communicated to us is not that it's in here, but that we need to turn in. Can you see the difference? It's saying that our problem is we are always looking out through the senses. And so these instructions that we learn in the scriptures are simply saying, no, don't keep looking out there, because first of all, that's never going to give it to you. Okay? You'll find things out there. Absolutely, there's tons, and there's more being created every day, in fact. So don't worry about that. But that will never give you ultimately what you want, that total satisfaction. And so it's almost metaphorical when it says, when the stages and the scriptures say, turn within. Yes, meaning stop looking outside is probably a better way of saying it. Stop looking out there for that. But if you didn't turn in here and look for it in here as if it were an object, no, it's an experience. It's an experience of our being. And because everything, as Shaivism says, is consciousness, but even Vedanta is saying everything is Brahman. And Brahman is that consciousness. And that experience of Brahman that we find when we turn within is everywhere. And that's what we're trying to come to grips with, that everywhere. So you may have heard this quote in the Bhagavad Gita. The body itself is said to be the chariot. This is obviously symbolism, metaphor. The body itself is said to be the chariot drawn by the horses of the senses. Those horses are controlled by the reins of mind held in the hands of Buddhi, the driver. The Atman itself is the Lord of the chariot. He who sits quietly within. And if you have read, or I would encourage you to read the Bhagavad Gita, that is played out in the Bhagavad Gita, in the great clash between the Kauravas and the Pandavas at Kurukshetra, when the charioteer is Krishna, Lord Krishna. And Arjuna, the greatest warrior in the world, falls to the floor with depression because he can't deal with it. When he looks up and he sees his cousins, his uncles, his kith and kin, and they're going to be fighting for this, basically for the throne. And so there's a metaphor there. So when they say this in the kata, the body itself is said to be the chariot. Arjuna is standing in that chariot, drawn by the horses of the senses. And those horses are controlled by the reins of mind held in the hands of the Buddhi. So the mental instrument has two key things. The mind, which is manas, just keeps thinking. And it's like wanting to go and seek pleasures, okay? But we are supposed to be able to control. And that's the bit where we have to start seeing it. So we have a body, there are our senses, and there's the mind. If we don't get control of that in some way, those horses will always run crazy. That is the nature of horses. They're going to, and you know, the sages tell us that is the nature of the mind. It's always thinking and it's always seeking for something out there. So, also in the Gita, oh Krishna, I deem it, the mind, as difficult to control as to control the wind. This is what Arjuna is saying. When Krishna says, control your mind, he says, but it's like trying to control the wind. The answer that comes back is by practice, we know practice, and by dispassion, the mind may be restrained. It's not to say it's just going to stop dead in its track, but it starts to make that shift, make that turn within to something that starts to give us a more powerful experience. It gives us, in fact, the experience that we actually want. So, as we're trying to do all of these things and lead our life, we need to hold so many things in our awareness. So many things we want to hold in our awareness. What do we really want? As we go through our life, and remember, life is ultimately transitions, stages. You know, those of us who are at a latter stage and those who are at a younger stage, it's all correct. Nothing's wrong, but it's different. And the way you live and the way you do what you do has to be appropriate to the stage. A student is like that, and they do the things that a student does. And a householder is like that, and they need to do the things that a householder does. And as I look out at this audience, I see the different stages all sitting here in the same room. And that's why something like the Vedas and Vedanta is so good, because it's like that song, something for everyone, okay, that we need to be able to do. But we need to recognize what stage we're in and live appropriately to that stage. Chuang Tzu said, "For the perfect man, woman, employs his mind like a mirror. It grasps nothing. It refuses nothing. It receives, but does not keep. And thus he can triumph over matter without injury to himself." Another beautiful metaphor that I like. A mirror is a great way of thinking about it. A mirror accepts everything. Stand in front of it, oh, yeah, the kids are like, yeah. But the mirror doesn't hold that. If you walk away, gone. And it also doesn't project anything. It doesn't hold it. It just receives, but doesn't keep. And so a deeper way of understanding what is detachment, dispassion, is that it's more like being a mirror. If it's there, it's there. When it goes, it's fine. Don't cling. Because it's the clinging and the holding on, and this is what comes out in 1,000 different ways in the Upanishads, that causes us suffering and pain. So, I was going to give you, and I might, what they say is the principles, 3 principles. One is you need to have faith. And Gurudev is often talking about that. He says there's no one translation for faith from Sanskrit, and there isn't. Faith is okay, belief okay, but it's not full and rich enough. Okay, and Shankaracharya had a sentence or so. He said, Shraddha is an unswerving faith in the words of the teachings, in the teachings of the scriptures, and in the dictates of one's own self. So it's saying when those 3 things come together, there you can find faith. So what you're hearing from the teacher, what you're hearing and reading in the scriptures, and they line up with your own experience, there's faith. Baba Muktananda used to always say, without faith you cannot live. You can't walk out the door. Because what's going to be on the other side? You certainly wouldn't want to drive a car. So it's not blind. There's something behind faith, isn't there? And that's why you have faith. And so what he's saying here is that that's the kind of faith you need to have on the spiritual path, because you know there's something there. That's why you're here. You're here because you have faith in what you've experienced previously, and what you've read, and what you have heard. And because of that, you're here. And so, don't let go of that. When someone comes and says, well, did he stand there for 3 days and nights, a 9-year-old boy out in the rain, and he didn't have any food? That is something that destroys your faith, isn't it? When someone says, I don't know, in your family says, why are you up at that place, and what are you doing, and how, and is it really how you want to live? And this young man said to me, going back to that story, he said, can I ask you another question? He was getting into it, and I said, sure. He said, I'm really feeling now I want to do this, whatever the version, walk that spiritual path. He said, but can I walk the path and lead my life as well? And I don't know why these words came to me in this particular way. I said, no. And he went, I said, you have to do both. It's not can you have to, because that's what it's about. It's about leading your full life. And if you don't do it like that, you haven't understood. You haven't understood that it isn't separate. It's all one thing. And it's just a matter of where are you now? And if you're here now, do this. And then when you leave and go there, do that. But do it in a dharmic way. Don't do it in a way that traps you. And he was saying to me, yeah, I've actually been getting trapped in some of that stuff out there. And I said, well then, lead a dharmic life. And don't do that which you're doing. You know, he's finished, he's got a degree in physics. Do it in a proper way. And then everything is fine. And that's the Vedic path. And it's all there for us to take advantage of. You know, and this is just one, there's a lot of commentary in here, one Upanishad, but if you dip into the Upanishads, that's what you'll find. But the key is you have to live it. You really do, or else it's just a good book, hopefully. You know, that, you know, you can put on your bookshelf and show your visitors when they come to your house. And I think we want more than that. As they say in Arise, awake, lead it, do it, become it. Thank you. Sadhgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Narayana, Narayana, Jaya Govinda Hare. Narayana, Narayana, Jaya Gopala Hare. Narayana Narayana Jaya Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Gopala Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Gopala Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Gopala Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Gopala Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jaya Gopala Hare નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોપાલ હરે. નારાયણ નારાયણ જય ગોવિંદ नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे आरती लीजो अज विनाशी पूर्ण नित्यानंद प्रकाशी पूर्ण मुक्तानंद प्रकाशी आरती लीजो ओम। नवरधरणे आरती थाला चंद्र सूरज दो दीप उजाला नवरधरणे आरती थाला चंद्र सूरज दो दीप उजाला अगर चंदन सब धूप विराजे अगर चंदन सब धूप विराजे झूला में रोचवर तरुरा शे आरती लीजो आरती लीजो अज विनाशी पूर्ण नित्यानंद प्रकाशी पूर्ण मुक्तानंद प्रकाशी आरती लीजो ओम। फूल वनस्पति है ये सारे सातों सागर जल की झारे फूल वनस्पति है ये सारे सातों सागर जल की झारे गगन अनाहत बाजे बाजे गगन अनाहत बाजे बाजे गाजे गडरे यमुपा आरती लीजो आरती लीजो अज विनाशी पूर्ण नित्यानंद प्रकाशी मुक्तानंद प्रकाशी आरती लीजो ओम। चार प्रकार के अन्न गोपाला सोही तेरो भोग रसाला चार प्रकार के अन्न गोपाला सोही तेरो भोग रसाला लोक चतुर दिश मंदिर तेरो लोक चतुर दिश मंदिर तेरो घट घट आसन स्वयं प्रकाशी आरती लीजो आरती लीजो अज विनाशी पूर्ण नित्यानंद प्रकाशी पूर्ण मुक्तानंद प्रकाशी आरती लीजो महावाक्य वेदन के जो है, सो तेरो चरणामृत सो है। महाभाग्य वेदन के जो है, सो तेरो चरणामृत सो है। सद्गुरु पुजारी देव चरणामृत, सद्गुरु पुजारी देव चरणामृत। पिए नारी नरबंध बिना आरती ले जो, आरती ले जो। अज विनाशी पूर्ण नित्यानंद प्रकाशी, पूर्ण मुक्तानंद प्रकाशी, आरती लीजो। ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। मेरा अंतर तिमिर मिटाओ, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। हे योगेश्वर हे ज्ञानेश्वर हे योगेश्वर हे ज्ञानेश्वर हे सर्वेश्वर हे परमेश्वर हे सर्वेश्वर हे परमेश्वर। निज कृपा बरसा, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। मेरा अंतर तिमिर सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। हम बालक तेरे द्वार पे आए, हम बालक तेरे द्वार पे आए। मंगल दरस दिखा, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। मेरा अंतर तिमिर मिटाओ, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। शीश झुकाया करें तेरी आरती, शीश झुकाया करें तेरी आरती। प्रेम सुधा बरसाओ, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। मेरा अंतर तिमिर मिटाओ, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। अंतर में युग युग से सोई, अंतर में युग युग से सोई। चित शक्ति को जगाओ, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। मेरा अंतर में सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। सांची ज्योत जगे हृदय में, सांची ज्योत जगे हृदय में। तो हम नाद जगा, सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ, मेरा अंतर तिमिर मिटाओ। जीवन मुक्तानंद अविनाशी, जीवन मुक्तानंद अविनाशी, चरणन शरण लगा। सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ, मेरा अंतर तिमिर मिटाओ। सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ, ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ, मेरा अंतर तिमिर मिटाओ। सद्गुरु ज्योत से ज्योत जगाओ। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव च जघा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। दूर करो दुख दर्द सब, मन मंदिर में उज्ज्वल हो, तेरा निर्मल ज्ञान। जिस घर में हो आरती, चरण कमल चितलाय, तहाँ हरि वास करे। ज्योत जहाँ भक्त कीर्तन करे, बहे प्रेम दरिया, तहाँ हरि श्रवण करे। सत्यलोक सिया, सब कुछ दिया आपने, भेंट करूं क्या ना। नमस्कार की भेंट, दोनों हाथ नमस्कार की भेंट। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते। पूर्णमेव शांति शांति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samidhyuvase Vrishannagni Vishwa Nirya Idaspadhe Samidhyase Sanu Vasunya Bhara Sangachadvam samvadadvam sambho mana si janatam deva bhaganyatha purve sanjanana upasate samhano mantra samite samhani samanam mana Sachittamesham Samhanam mantramavimantara eva samhanena vo Havisha juhomi Samhani va akuti Samhana hridayani va Samhanamastu vo mano yatha Vahasu sahasati Harihi Om Om Dyo Shantirantarichago Shanti Prithvi Shantira Paha Shantiro Kadaya Shanti Vanazapataya Chandra Vishave Deva Chandra Brahma Shanti Sarvagmu Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhi Jato Yataha Sami Hase tato no avayam guru shannaha kuru parajabhya bhayanaha pashubhyaha Om Shanti 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 Shushantir bhavatu sarvarishta sarvopadrava Shantirastu Sadguruna Maharaj ki jai.
So this concludes our Sunday morning satsang, and it's lovely to see everybody here gathered on a beautiful Sunday morning here at Shanti Mandir Walden. And we have much to look forward to in the upcoming weeks. Next week, it'll be August 4th, so we'll just be moving into the month of August, and we'll begin and continue with Nicheshwari on the Upanishads on Sunday morning, and then the following week, we'll be hearing from Dana Wilkinson on the Upanishads, and then the following we'll be having a video of Baba Muktananda, and the following week after that, guess what? August 25th. So Gurudev will be in residence then, and we'll be having our welcome program with him down at Namaste. So for those of you who are here in person, we'll continue our Sunday morning satsangs right here in the temple until that August 25th, and then we'll transition down to Namaste for the rest of Gurudev's visit. So coming up also, we have our Bliss of Freedom course, which is part of our Siddhapath series. That begins on August 23rd until September 8th. And within that, just so everybody knows, there's also another intensive with Gurudev on September 7th. Perhaps it may be called Muktananda, the Bliss of Freedom, in alignment with the course. So let's see. So we wait to hear what that one is. And then we have our Navaratra coming up in the month of October. So lots to choose from. So enjoy the rest of your August until we get to August 25th, and then open up your calendars so that you can join us for all of those upcoming festivities and celebrations in Gurudev's presence. With that, everybody's invited to come up for darshan, followed by prasad down at Namaste, and we'll see you all very soon. Sadgurunad Maharaj Ki Jai.